Well, the big security story tonight, terrorists detonate a mini nuclear bomb in downtown Los Angeles. The plan to kill hundreds of thousands of Americans, fact or fiction? Well, certainly maybe fiction for now, but 24's Jack Bauer has it right. People need to wake up to the possibility of nuclear attack. This isn't only coming from Hollywood. The reality is a major European bank is now issuing a warning about a possible strike on Iran's nuke program. And in Washington, there's fear about Iran's nuke capabilities, of course, and fear the U.S. will open an Iran war front, which could lead to more terror attacks here. Is 24's faux suitcase nuke bomb a real wake-up call for America? Should we take this as an early warning sign that something like this could happen here? Joining me now, Mike Baker, a former CIA operative, also national best-selling author Brad Thor, author of the book Takedown. So, Brad, a lot of people watched 24 last night, and yet we're seeing these things pop up in the headlines all the time. Should we take it seriously?
George in Barbados writes in, Glenn, Bush administration and the American media always paint a terrible picture of the beheadings and other horrible crimes being committed in Iraq, yet they try to downplay the ill treatment of our prisoners in Guantanamo. Let's not forget the horrible things the Marines did to the prisoners in Iraq. Isn't that somewhat hypocritical? No. I don't think so. I mean, look, no conservative that I know was tougher on Abu Ghraib than I was. It shouldn't have happened, and it should definitely never have been downplayed. That legitimately hurt us in Iraq, and it was pointless. Now, me, I'm for more Jack Bauers. The Jack Bauer that has to extract information, that's one thing. But Lindy England taking pictures of, a naked pyramid, that was just stupid and pointless. But to compare that to a beheading of an innocent worker or a soldier who was kidnapped is a little over the top. Maybe it's just me. Ed writes in from Tampa. Glenn, relax. I know North Korea, everything's going to be okay. The situation is all a setup by Fox Television to promote the new season of 24. Remember, Jack Bauer was kidnapped by China, so he's already in the area and he's going to take care of North Korea and their bomb. P.S. Been here from day one. Wow, so you're the one that's been sticking around from the beginning, huh? Thanks, Ed. I hope that you're right. We need some real-life Jack Bauers right about now, minus the hot daughter that almost gets thousands of people killed every season. But because the specific techniques are so secret, the bill instead uses terms like serious and non-transitory mental harm which need not be prolonged. What? Can I use the extreme sleep deprivation or not so much? Because most of us, I think, would like to just sit back in our cozy living rooms and say, well, the interrogator should just ask those guys, where the next attack's going to be. Ask them nicely. Maybe offer them a lollipop. How can they not talk? I think, really, most of us would like a Jack Bauer from time to time. The reality is, a lot of these guys have information that could potentially save thousands of lives, and you got to do what you got to do. Okay, Mike, I have really time just for a yes or no question. Yes or no, does Jack Bauer exist in America? A guy like that?
Sure.
Oh, love you. Thank you. Back in a minute.
I am so
what I'm trying to tell you is this. The average American sitting at home is not engaged on a daily basis like we are.
Right.
Doesn't know what the truth is. Doesn't know.
Well,
Then
I'll tell you one. Yeah,
Go ahead,
I'll tell you one thing, Bill. The average American out there loves the show 24. Okay, they love Jack Bauer. They love 24. In my mind, that's as close to a national referendum that it's okay to use tough tactics against high-level Al-Qaeda operatives as we're going to get. Okay, the idea that you're going to give, as Ted Koppel said the other night, hoagies and cokes to all the people who are being interrogated, that might work. You might give a lamb kebab to some low-level Al-Qaeda person in Gitmo, and that might work.
Next. You probably heard that President Bush yesterday acknowledged for the very first time the existence of secret CIA prisons, along with, how ominous does this one sound, the use of alternative set of procedures, end quote, when questioning suspected terrorists. So the real story today is very simple, at least for me. For some reason, nobody is saying this. Well, at least nobody on television is saying this. Here it is. The real story. Thank God. It's these types of things, the stuff we never usually hear about unless we read the New York Times, that actually makes me feel more secure. I want a Jack Bauer out there. I love seeing cops doing bag checks on subway stations. Let's be honest. It's the tactics and the programs that we don't know about that make us all sleep real well at night. Earlier this year, I should say, unless you're a bad guy, earlier this year, Osama bin Laden said, quote, "Death is better than living on this earth with the unbelievers among us." How do you possibly fight against that kind of mentality with conventional tactics? The answer, you don't. How do you fight an enemy that violates the one rule of war, that life is better than death, that the rest of us live by every single day? You can't. And so you got to do what you need to do to survive. The president said these alternative procedures and secret prisons have saved American lives. He said they have saved or stopped plots designed to occur inside the U.S. Things like downing of airplanes, bombing office buildings, and potential biological attacks. Things we've never heard about.